Sometimes it's crazy how, like, the right music can make a movie scene just so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it just pulls you right in.
Totally.
And that reminds me, you sent us this episode plan all about using music to win over
The
investors.
odds of success.
Yeah, the sound of success. Using AI music storytelling to win over
A
investors.
catchy title.
I know, right? And it got me thinking, how can we actually use music strategically, especially for something as important as, an investor pitch?
Well, it's interesting because we always think of those pitches as all about the numbers, like logic and data.
Right, right.
But investors are people too, right?
Yeah,
And people, well, they're driven by emotions.
totally. So it's not just about the facts and figures, it's about telling a story
Exactly.
and making those investors feel like they're part of something bigger.
This plan really emphasizes how crucial that storytelling piece is for connecting with investors, emotionally.
And that's where I think this whole AI music thing comes in.
Yeah, it's like using music to really amplify the emotional impact.
Okay, so give me an example.
Okay, imagine, you're pitching your growth projections,
Mm-hmm.
but there's this driving, upbeat track playing in the background.
Okay, I like it.
It instantly conveys that sense of like momentum
Yeah.
and potential.
Gotcha. So you set the mood with the music.
Right. Or let's say you're talking about the problem your product solves.
Yeah.
You could use like a somber melody
Oh,
to
no.
really underscore the gravity of the issue.
I see. So it's not just like generic background music.
No, not at all.
You're actually crafting a whole investor journey with the music.
Exactly. You're guiding them through your pitch with carefully chosen musical elements.
I like that, an investor journey.
The plan actually gives this example of, you know, using specific musical cues to highlight key moments.
Oh, okay.
Like you're revealing a big partnership or a surge in user adoption.
Mm-hmm.
The music swells right along with the excitement of that achievement.
Now that you mention it, when I first heard about this whole AI-generated music thing, I was like, is this going to sound, a little too robotic?
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, like, can it really capture the nuance of, like, real music?
I think the tech has come a long way.
Really?
There are platforms out there like Amper Music and Jukebox
Okay.
that use, complex algorithms
Mm-hmm.
to create these custom soundtracks tailored to your specific needs.
So you're saying it's not just like slapping on a pre-made track?
No, you can actually create something unique that fits the tone and style of your pitch.
Huh, that's pretty cool.
And the best part is these tools are getting easier and easier to use.
So even if I'm, not a musician,
Exactly.
I can still experiment and find the right sound.
You can play around with different genres, tempos,
Uh-huh.
instrumentation until you find that perfect sound for your story.
Now, this episode plan also mentions soundscapes.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I'm not totally sure what that means.
Yeah. So a soundscape is kind of like a sonic environment.
Okay,
Like think about the sounds of a busy city street or a quiet forest.
I gotcha.
And you can use those strategically in your pitch to, create a more immersive experience for your investors.
Interesting. So instead of just music, you might have like these subtle sounds in the background
Exactly.
to evoke a specific feeling or setting.
Right. Like let's say you're pitching a company focused on sustainable agriculture.
Okay.
You could incorporate sounds of birds chirping
Oh, I see.
or, gentle breeze rustling through leaves.
Clever.
Could you talk about the benefits of your product?
So you're creating this subconscious connection in the listener's mind.
Yeah, like between your brand and the natural world in this case.
Wow, that's a really creative way to reinforce your message.
It's like you're building a world around your pitch instead of just, presenting slides.
Exactly. And that's what I think makes this whole concept so powerful.
Definitely.
You're engaging multiple senses.
You're drawing your inventors into your story on a much deeper level.
It makes me wonder, though, could this immersive sound design ever be too much?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, could it be overwhelming, with too many sonic elements going on? Yeah.
That's something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a cool idea, but
Right.
yeah.
Well, I think like any powerful tool, AI music needs to be used thoughtfully.
Right.
You don't want to create sensory overload.
Yeah, you want it to enhance the message.
Exactly, not overpower it.
So it's all about finding the right balance.
Yes, and being intentional with every sound choice, making sure it aligns with your overall pitch strategy.
This plan mentions a guest expert, actually, a Haptic R&D Consulting strategist,
Oh, wow.
who shares real-world examples of successful pitches that used AI music. And I'd
Interesting.
be so curious to hear how those companies found that balance.
Me too.
Mm.
It would be fascinating to see how they integrated music without letting it overshadow the substance of their pitch.
Yeah, because it's one thing to talk about the theory, but seeing it in action is key.
Absolutely. And there's also a mention of a case study about a startup that got funding after using AI music.
Oh, wow.
Like analyzing their approach could be really insightful.
Definitely. This episode plan also touches on something that honestly blew my mind a little bit.
What's that?
Dynamic soundtracks
Oh,
that
yeah.
adapt to audience feedback in real time.
Does sound a little sci-fi, doesn't it?
It's like something straight out of a movie.
Totally.
Imagine a pitch where the music changes based on the investor's facial expressions
Wow. Yeah.
or even their biofeedback.
That's wild.
Like if someone seems confused, the music becomes more, I don't know, reassuring.
Oh, interesting.
Or if they're excited, the music builds in intensity.
Yeah, it's like the music is reading the room
Exactly.
and adjusting itself to create the optimal experience for each investor.
And while I know this technology is probably still pretty early,
Yeah.
it has the potential to revolutionize how we communicate.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the applications.
It's not just for pitches either.
Presentations, product demos, training videos.
All of it.
It's like taking personalized marketing to a whole new level.
Totally.
Using sound to tailor the experience to each person.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how AI music isn't just about cool soundtracks.
Right.
It's about unlocking a whole new dimension of communication.
It's about tapping into the power of sound to create a deeper connection.
And that connection can lead to greater understanding, stronger relationships.
And ultimately, more successful outcomes.
This episode plan also mentions the broader potential of AI music
Oh, yeah.
for things like climate change campaigns,
Interesting.
cross-cultural communication.
That's cool.
It's exciting to think about how sound could be used to drive positive change in the world.
It is. Imagine a climate change documentary
Yeah,
where the music swells with hope as solutions are presented,
I love it.
or a campaign that uses music to bridge cultural divides and foster empathy.
It's powerful stuff.
It really is. AI music has the potential to move beyond the boardroom and become a tool for social good
It's like we're witnessing the birth of a new language, one that goes beyond words.
and speaks directly to our emotions.
Exactly.
That's what makes this whole exploration so fascinating.
I'm ready to wrap things up,
Okay.
but I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this topic.
I agree. There's so much more to explore.
So much to discover.
The possibilities are endless.
There's just so much to unpack here.
There really is.
So to bring it all back to our listener and their goals, what are some of the key takeaways from this deep dive into AI music?
Well, I think, one thing's for sure. AI music, it's not just a fad. It's here to stay.
It's a real game changer.
It really is. And it's something that can really help entrepreneurs, business leaders, connect with investors on a whole other level.
I think it's easy to forget how powerful sound can be. We focus so much on words and visuals
Right.
that we sometimes overlook the emotional impact of sound.
Exactly. And as AI music gets even more, sophisticated, it's going to open up a whole new world of possibilities for communication.
I can already picture a future where every pitch deck comes with its own custom AI soundtrack.
I know, right?
Perfectly tailored to the audience, the message.
And maybe someday we'll even see those dynamic soundtracks, the ones that respond to investors in real time,
Oh, yeah, that would be amazing.
creating a truly personalized experience.
It's a fascinating thought, but it also kind of makes me wonder
Yeah.
about the ethical implications.
Oh, for sure.
Like if AI music gets that good, how do we make sure it's not used to manipulate people?
Right. That's a huge question.
Where do we draw the line between persuasion and manipulation?
Yeah, that's something we really need to think about as a society.
Definitely.
I mean, with any powerful technology, there's always the risk of misuse.
Exactly.
It's up to us to, set those ethical guidelines.
Ensure that AI music is used responsibly.
Correct.
I think that's a great point, and I think it's a good place to wrap things up for today.
Oh, good.
This deep dive has been really insightful,
I'm glad to hear that.
and it's given me a lot to think about, in terms of the power of sound.
Absolutely.
So if you're listening out there and you're looking for a way to make your pitches stand out, I definitely encourage you to explore AI music.
I agree. It could be that extra edge you need.
And remember, this is just the beginning.
AI is constantly evolving.
So who knows what the future holds for sound and storytelling?
The possibilities are truly endless.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep listening. So much to think about.
It really is mind-blowing.
It is. For anyone out there listening who wants to make their pitch more memorable, more impactful, what are the biggest takeaways from this deep dive?
Well, I think, we've got to recognize that AI music, it's not just a gimmick, you know?
Hmm.
It's a powerful tool
Yeah.
that can really, really help elevate your pitch and help you connect with investors on a deeper level.
I think we forget about the power of sound sometimes. We
Yeah.
get so caught up in, the visuals and the words and all that,
Right.
that we forget how much sound can influence our emotions and create a lasting impression.
Totally. And as AI music technology gets even more sophisticated and accessible,
Right.
it's going to give business leaders, entrepreneurs, a whole new way to communicate to really get their vision across.
I mean, I can imagine a future where, every pitch deck comes with its own custom AI soundtrack,
Oh, absolutely.
perfectly tailored to the audience
I can see it.
and the message.
Totally. And maybe even, those real-time dynamic soundtracks
Oh, yeah.
that respond to the investors' reactions as they're happening.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, creating a truly personalized and immersive experience. It's pretty amazing.
It's a fascinating thought,
It is.
but it raises some questions for me
Like what?
about, the ethics of it all.
Oh, right, right.
Like if AI music gets that sophisticated,
Yeah.
how do we ensure it's being used ethically?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
A good point.
where do we draw the line between persuasion and manipulation?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
That's a question, the big question we need to ask as a society.
for sure.
I mean, like any powerful technology,
Right.
AI music could be misused.
That's true.
So it's up to us to figure out those ethical guidelines
Exactly.
and make sure it's used responsibly, transparently.
I think those are great points.
Thank you.
And I think, this has been a really insightful deep dive.
It have.
It's given me a lot to think about, for sure.
Me too.
I'm so glad we took the time to to explore this topic.
Likewise.
And, to our listener, if you're out there
Hmm.
and you're looking for ways to make your pitches, more memorable, more impactful, more persuasive,
Mm-hmm.
AI music just might be that secret weapon you've been looking for.
I think so.
So we encourage you to explore it,
Absolutely. Give it a try.
because you never know what you might discover.
The possibilities are truly endless.
And until next time, keep exploring
Keep experimenting.
and keep listening